Good afternoon. I'm doing very well. Thanks for coming out. I don't know if I got anything more to say than I already have, but really, again, just in very brief statement, so happy and really honored to be here because being familiar with the Big 8, now Big 12, being at Kansas State as a player and then as a coach, I'm very familiar with all the terrific players that have gone through and all the outstanding teams they've had here. And again, just in our short, really since Friday afternoons, first time we really knew we were going to be here with President Bourne and Joe Castiglione. Just it's no doubt, no wonder why so many people have the things to say about them and their leadership and direction that they do, because it's very clear that they've done a terrific job, and we very much look forward to working with them as we go forward. So with that, any questions about anything?
Lonnie, what made you reconsider after they came back either the first time or more than that? Can you get into that?
Nothing specific. I think after a couple times, Joe, just simply said, Coach, we're not taking no. So will you meet with us and when you go down to Houston and I guess talked with Barb and more, and we said, well, we'll meet, and we did that, and really glad that it happened that way, because we love living in Las Vegas. The people there have been so good. The fans have been so good. The leadership with President Smotrich and Jim Livengood is absolutely terrific. Similar to what you're familiar with here with the president and Joe. And just the more we talked, it just, I think back to our roots a little bit, being from the Midwest, I think maybe had more of an impact than what we at first thought. And the more we talked about it, it just evolved that way. And we really didn't expect to do it, but glad Joe was persistent.
Well, we've seen you coach probably about 200 games, probably. I mean, you've coached, but for those that haven't seen your style of play, could you talk about it a little bit more and what you like to do on the court? And
it really don't know that we've got a particular style. We always try to adjust to our personnel, and our function as coaches is to help them do as well as they possibly can, and that effort to put them in a position on the floor where they have the best chance individually and as a group to be effective. And ideally, we'd like to recruit athletes can really shoot it and really get after it on both ends of the floor, push it offensively, attack, be aggressive. Probably more so considerably than maybe even we did back in the late 80s at Kansas State. It was a little bit more of a I think, again, break when the opportunity is there, but we've pressed that issue a little bit more here of late, certainly in the last 7 years in Las Vegas. So we want to push it, but yeah, we want to take good care of the ball, and we want to make good decisions, and we want to get the most out of each possession we possibly can, and then change things up defensively, try to dictate, with man being the base, but still make adjustments as we go along with whatever it takes.
Hey, Lonnie, you've obviously got a reputation as being a reviver, rebuilder of programs, or at least restorer when you get there. Is that a system you have? We do this no matter what school we're at, or is it all on a case-by-case basis?
The thing we do, regardless, is surround ourselves with as good of players as we possibly can and good people. We've always had a staff of coaches that are very genuinely interested and motivated out of the well-being for the student-athlete, and not only on the court but off and in every way. And I think in doing that, the players understand that we're motivated out of an interest in helping them. And that is our function with the players, is to help them have a great experience. Doing things fundamentally, making progress, developing, so we can put as good a team on the floor as we possibly can, because winning is a part of that experience. I mean, experience is just better when you win. So we've always had good players, and we've always had a good staff. And that's a pretty simple formula, but and I like the core that we have right now. Again, everyone had commented about how hard they work and how genuinely motivated they are to have a good team. And after meeting with them last night, I really believe that to be the case, and they're excited to get to work. And our job is to help them continue that, and then add some players to help them accomplish what they're after.
you put together your staff?
You've had, you guys have been with you for a while.
Yeah, and we'll have a blend of the guys that have been with us for a while, and certainly don't know exactly who that. I mean, in a final form, what that means. Don't know exactly what the assignment responsibilities are. but certainly we need to add others to that staff, and we need folks that can be number one, great ambassadors for Oklahoma, but also can absolutely recruit Oklahoma and Texas as well as other places too. But in this league, and like most leagues, you've got to have very good players. You're playing against teams with very good players. Again, like what we have, and we have to build on that and add to it. So, adding to our staff, the guys that we do bring from UNLV will be very, very good, and they've been good everywhere we've been. But we also will add to that and make it a blend of what we've had and new going forward. And at this point, we are receiving a lot of interest, which is exciting and encouraging from folks interested in being a part of our staff and a part of Oklahoma. And we'll identify the absolute best, starting with, again, person that fits well, but also a guy that can really, really recruit.
Lon, a lot of, you look at it, looked like recruiting kind of fizzled out for Oklahoma this year. How much change do you think you could make in a short period of time by possibly bringing in new players?
The players determine that, really. And again, I know with Coach Capel lost a couple of guys after 1 year, and that would kind of throw a wrench in anyone's plans. So I don't know that it's been anything other than that. The guys that are here and the guys that remain are pretty young, and one senior last year. So we're hoping to really be the beneficiary of their development and their maturing and getting older in the Big 12, which is hard to be young and be effective. So I think that kind of all hit Coach Capel at one time, being young and losing a couple of guys that he expected to have going forward. So we just hope to go forward and identify some players that can step in. It's late a little bit right now for the fall, but anyone that's available and out there will certainly check it out and be very aggressive about it.
You sometimes kind of go, wow, I never thought in a million years, especially when you're wearing the purple playing in here 30-something years ago. Did you ever think I'll be coaching at Oklahoma? It's got to be kind of an irony for you.
I had never imagined it. Again, I remember very vividly the building. As a sophomore, you couldn't play as a freshman back then, but in '72, coming down here as a sophomore, and remember watching Scott Martin and Bobby Jack, as a freshman or even in high school at that point. They were a couple years older than I was, and how kind of in awe of those guys, and then to line up and play against them and have them whip up on us pretty good. It was kind of a learning experience for me. And then, like I said, out there, I thought, well, Scott's graduating, so maybe we got a chance now. And then Mike McCurdy comes in and does the same thing. So it's a learning experience, but still always enjoyed competing with those guys. And then Bobby Jack did it to us on the baseball field too. So it's kind of across the board.
Obviously, you're familiar with Oklahoma, but will you call on, you said you're going to embrace former players and former coaches, but would you, for example, talk to a Kelvin Sampson, a Billy Tubbs, just kind of get their feel for how things went when they were there, or do you not know?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I talked to Coach Tubbs. Billy called yesterday, and he's coming back, which is great. Hopefully he'll be at practice a lot and coming by. Absolutely. Everywhere we've been, we really, really, it's a shared ownership plan. I mean, we're just a part of it, and we appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it. But we'll be very aggressive with the former players. I mean, we want them back. We want them at practice. We want them talking to the guys. Sometimes young players don't fully appreciate how important the program is to all those guys that played before. So the more they can hear that from people other than our staff, the better. So no, we'll be very aggressive. I've talked, Stacey King called and he had a lot of good ideas. Kelvin called and as did Joe and Renee and everyone that we've come in contact has said, Yo-Yo's the best, and I didn't know exactly what that meant at the time. But after meeting Yo-Yo, now I understand, and I was scared to say no to him, so Yo-Yo is going to be with us. And it wasn't only because I was scared to say no, because I know he's very, very good. And the players appreciate that. So yeah, those guys, we'll lean on everyone. I mean, everyone that's been associated with Oklahoma basketball knows a whole lot more about it than I do. So why not listen and pick their brains and learn as much as we possibly can. We'll make decisions in the end, and we have no problem doing that. But you always like doing that with as much information as you can possibly get, and we look forward to sharing that ownership as much as we possibly can.
Lon, you're opening. You said you were going to open practice. That's not always done in today's time in college sports, but you were pretty adamant about. Come on.
Yeah, we've
now.
always done it. We've always done it. We have no secrets. Partly, quite frankly, is our guys are going to work really hard. When you guys watch them work, then you'll like what they're doing, and they're getting after it. And if we screw up a time or two, maybe you'll say, well, they're going to get there, and they're genuine about it. So we open practice and have a good time with it. And I think it's good for our players to have a little buzz in the stands every day. And typically we'll have anywhere between. There'll be groups and organizations come in, and we'll have, from the normal 10 to 12 to 15 that are there every day to 200 or 300, and at a practice. And it's good for our guys because, you got to focus between the lines. You can't be distracted. If you're going to be distracted by that, you're certainly going to be distracted in Austin or Manhattan or Lawrence or wherever it is that we're lining up. So I think it's good for everyone.
Hey, Lon, you were one of the only coaches that have come here and been at a so-called football school for your Florida. What's your thoughts about football being king of the place?
Well, I love football to start with. I'm a huge fan. Love Saturday afternoons. Again, at Florida, is a huge strength for our program. We went there in '90, and any time we could bring recruits in on football Saturdays. In fact, we only brought recruits in on football Saturdays because it was such a huge atmosphere and festival, and much like it is here. And we'll ride those coattails anytime we possibly can. And Coach Stoops called today, and we had lunch, and he's great. Ironically, when Coach Stoops arrived at Florida, maybe a couple of months later, I left, so we didn't have much interaction there. And in fact, it kind of happened the same way when he arrived at Kansas State. A couple of months after he arrived, I was gone. So we've known each other a bit through the years, but never overlapped very much. But he was great to call today, and we had lunch and enjoyed his time, and really look forward to the football season.
Can you just comment on the challenges of putting teams together? Because Jeff certainly had a bad experience with some high school All-Americans that did not work out. But one and done can be not a great thing, but you want to get the best players. So just your thoughts on that whole thing. Absolutely.
You're always going to recruit the best players. If we have a one and done, that's fantastic. It changes the dynamics a bit, the chemistry. You have to work with that. But you're always going to look for the best players you can get. It's about people that want to be here, people that want to represent in a first-class way, want to get a college degree, even if they're not here throughout the 4 years. Certainly hope they have a base academically. When they do leave here, they can come back and get it when their playing days are over. But again, one thing I think through the times, we're really flexible. We don't have a lot of hard and fast rules. As I told our guys last night, first and foremost, guys, we just got to communicate. We can't help you. Our function is to help, and we can't help if we don't know what's bothering you. If you got a problem, we're very transparent. Talk to us about it. We're not trying to catch you. We're not trying to judge you. We're trying to help you, and we can't do that if you don't talk to us. So we really are about communication. And we're very we work hard. We're going to work really hard. Everyone works hard. But we're constructive with it. We're positive with it. I think confidence is as important as anything an athlete has at his disposal, and we're really promoting that all the time. And the second thing we ask for guys is just really do your best to represent everyone associated with the program in a first-class way. Pretty simple, but it's pretty all-encompassing too, because decisions you make, consequences of those decisions, think about how it represents everyone, and really be conscious of representing in a first-class way, and then we'll always be on time. I'm not going to be late and make 15, 20 people wait on me, and we're not going to wait on anyone else. So I think it's just considerate to be on time, and really nothing that's out of the ordinary. If you're a professional businessman, that's what we're helping them prepare for, is life after basketball at some point. We want them to be able to go out and compete successfully in the job market, and if you don't take care of habits daily and take care of responsibilities, then if you do get a job, you're not going to have it very long. So it's all about the long-range vision and focus, and to do that well, you have to really take care of habits daily. And that's what we're after during the relatively short time that they're with us here.
So who's responsible responsible for starting 17 minutes late today?
Well, I'm not going to go there, you know. I know that there's probably no one that's going to say anything about that, right? You know, in my short time here, I have an appreciation for the role that I've kind of gone too far already, haven't I? You know, but I know it's a role that's unmatched by most in the history of the state of Oklahoma. So, wow, what an impressive guy.